Top, top of the morning, people. How y'all doing? Forgive me, I'm over here putting some lotion on. You know, 'cause you know I got had surgery. Reconstructive surgery on my wrist. All right, so forgive me here if I'm moving at a snail's pace. I wanted to start it at the 7 o'clock hour, as I did. You know, um, By the way, this is Old Jaw Gritty. I'm your host, Juice Warner. Please don't hesitate to hit that like button. By the way, this is my book, Knock 'em Out the Box Street Scalzi. Right? So, hold on, let me put the mic over there. Um, like I said, it's gonna be difficult. So if you see my hands a little ashy, you know, don't don't attack me or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I put on my gold bonds, you know, all that gold bonds. Pardon me here. So yeah. Um Please, if you inside here, do not refer to me as woke. I'm far from woke due to the fact that I was never asleep. I was always seeking and asking questions from the sleep, trying to figure out why was they sleeping. You know what I'm saying? So for me, my questions was always, that like, why are these people sleeping? What do you mean? Explain this, explain that, and when they cut in, you know what I'm saying? I just went about my business in search of true information. Right? Let me make this a little bigger here for y'all. Let me see. Okay. Right? So in this, right, I will be showing you that Adam, right, is in fact the first God of the Bible. Now, people misunderstanding of God is really the problem. Okay, now when we say God, right, people as myself, right, we mean the founders, those who aided and abetted, and not just the founders, like as far as the first, but those along the way who set foundations within society, whether it be governmental law, financial system, medical out, um, um, medical findings and stuff like that. So when we say God, we understand that it's Gumar Oz Dubar, right? Wisdom, strength, and beauty. So the science of that, meaning that you have the university's wisdom, you have strength, which is the government, and you have beauty, which is what we would say like entertainment, right? So these three fields, right, controls society. So when we say Adam as the first God, when we explore, right, hold on, let me um go over to my internet. Let's pull up Google real quick. All right. So, F. See how we got the Bible verses in there. Okay, so Adam and the Bible. All right. We're gonna go to Adam and the Bible. Right? Genesis 1 through 5, the first human. Now, these are two different stories, to be honest. The first humans and um Adam are two different situations. So right there they would be wrong. Um let's see. Adam Genesis 2. It should be Gen 2. All right. Genesis 2. Thus the heavens and earth. All right. Let's see here. So it goes right. See, I was right. Adam and Eve. So it's not Gen 1, it's Genesis 2. Right? And it says, um, well, there's more inside there that I'm gonna save for another time. But so I'm gonna just go right down here. Now the Lord God planted a garden in the east of Eden. There, hold on, let me move my chair. Right. Okay, it goes where we at? Um, planted a garden of Eden, and there he put man he had formed. The Lord God made all kinds of trees out of the ground, trees, where the trees of life and knowledge of good and evil. The river flowed, boom, 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 Lord to, hold on, let me check here. All right. Um, I'm almost certain it's not back here, right? God created man in his image, right? So I was right, it's not back here, all right? So let me see, which book is this? Oh, that's why. Some stupid ass. Everybody got their spin on it. All right, so let's go up here to King James real quick, because that's the one that put everybody in the chance, right? In the trance. All right. So let's go to the one that set the trance. All right, King James. Okay. The Lord had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. The Lord made all kinds of trees grow in the garden, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden, there the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The river watering the garden flowed. This is can't be. This is doesn't let's update. Maybe it's right. Um, yeah, I was right. Okay. Um. The name of Plachon, and he put the second, right? Heavens. Okay. And every plant in the field before was in the earth, and every herb in the field before it grew, for the Lord had not caused it to rain upon the earth, there was not a man to till the ground. Key word. Tilling of the ground. This is how you're gonna understand, right, this system. But there went up a mist in the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man in the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree in that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The river went out of the garden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. The name of the four weights, so we move on from the head to the river, right? The river is boom, boom, boom. And the Lord commanded the man, saying, every tree in the garden is freely to eat, but the tree of knowledge of good and evil, right? And then he goes and so he goes red with the God of the man and Adam, boom, the bone of the flesh, therefore sorry if I'm cutting through this, it's just that I'm trying to get to the actual part that's gonna make right. Cause now they know they naked. So now we get into part three with a serpent, right? He comes and he basically tells. Now, the point where we're gonna get into how he's remember, this whole story is about a garden, right? A snake, right? And you know how it'll do these things. Right, so we understand that the first system was a system of nature, right? The first system before you had the second system, which was celestial, right? The stars, meaning that first you had to know how to live amongst the animals and stuff like that, right? And then we first we learned how to live amongst the animals. Second, we learned how to use the stars to understand um the ways of nature, meaning that when certain stars was in the skies, we knew that winter, spring, summer, fall, we knew that these four seasons. So you hear four corners of the earth foolishly, you know, like it's flat or something like that, meaning that these were the four seasons, right? So we have these four seasons and we have these celestial. But first, let's stay into the first system, right? Even if we look into Egypt, we could see the first system by their God system. Their God system was nature based, showing you which animals, right? You didn't want to hold on. Let's pull this up here, right? It's gods and goddesses, right? Okay, so let's pull up some images real quick here. Right. So just so we can understand the science of nature, right? This would be your um let's see. Wanna get a okay. All right, so let's go inside here. Hopefully I can pull this up bigger. Um Well, hold on a minute. Since it's over here, close this. All right, let's come over here. Now, if you could see here, right, you can see we have two we have two groups. We have like these humans, but we have these animal heads. Now, these animal heads will dictate, you know, what like what we would say the underworld or God or devil, right? Meaning that we had these animals who you didn't want to play with. You didn't want to go up to them and be mistaken because automatically your life would be over. Now we also had animals that were domesticated and used, and we were able to use them in our means of life. So as you see, our first system, right, would be nature. Using the system of God, good and evil and all of that, using that system to train the people into stay away from these things and you can go and mess with these things right here, right? So now we understanding that. So we go back into this garden, right? Because you got to remember, this is a remix, right? This is a remix. This is not the actual, original story. We're going to get into the original story, right? But in this story right here, right, we see that Adam, he's a gardener, right? He has to till the land. He knows he's naked, right? He becomes this society, right? And so with gardening, meaning that he learned the land, a society was started. So in that structure, and this is the honoring of a system that was set up for you, me, and everybody to be around each other. The first system would be agriculture, being able to eat and, feed the people off the land. So that was, the first system. And how I'm gonna prove that is, hold on a minute here, pardon me. All right. Let's come back here. So now, like as I'm saying, this is God. So we'll be looking into the epic of Gilgamesh, right? But we won't be touching it right at this immediate second, right? So let me pull up Enlil, right? Symbol, right? Um, Enlil, later known as Enlil, is an ancient Mesopotamian god associated with wind, air, earth, and storm. Remember, I just said we're dealing with, nature. So he is the first attested as the chief deity of the Sumerian pantheon, but he was later worshipped by the Academians, Babylonian, Assyrians, and Hurrians. Enlil primary center of worship was the Eric Temple in the city of Nepal, which was believed to have been built by Enlil himself. So you see, again, we look into this structure and it's saying who um put this system together. And so, as we go on in our societies and life, we still pay homage to these people, even if, the Christian system had stolen it and put it all under themselves. So, like basically the Christian system just said, nah, Jesus and God and that was that. And basically stole this heritage that everybody else kept and honored. You understand what I'm saying? So, which he believed to have been built himself and was regarded as the mooring rope of heaven and earth. He is also meaning that he was the one to be able to connect the stars, right? And be able to use the stars in relation to earth, the four corners of the earth, the four winds, of the seasons, right? So then we go heaven and earth. He is also sometimes referred to in Sumerian texts as Nunamir. According to one Sumerian hymn, Enlil himself was so holy that not even the other gods could look upon him, right? The sun, right? And Lil rose to prominence during the 24th century BC with the rise of Nepal. His cult fell into decline after Nepal was sacked by the Emulites, right? Elements in 1230 BC, and was also eventually supplemented as a chief god in Mesopotamian pantheon by the Babylonian national god Marduk. Murdoch. Right? So let me open this up here. Right? I want to get into, let's see here. Come down. Um See, meaning weather making Enlil, the weather god of the sky, Lord, boom, 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 boom. Enlil saint, forgive me here. So it was a pantheon god of Sumerians in the past, the center worship, temple located, boom, boom. Because it's going to be very important as we go on, as you understand um the Bible, this whole area right here, Nepal and all of that is gonna be your main area of study. Right? The Sumerians believed that the sole purpose of humanity's existence was to serve the gods. Right? The Sumerian, boom, boom, let me see. East winds. Okay. It goes Sumerian envisioned Enlil as a benevolent father deity who watched over humanity and cares for their well-being. One Sumerian hymn described Enlil as so glorious that even the other gods could not look upon him. The same hymn also stated that without Enlil, civilization could not exist. Enlil impetus included titles such as the Great Mountain, the King of the Foreign Lands, and Lil is also sometimes described as a raging storm, a wild bull, a merchant. The Mesopotamian envisioned him as a creator, a father, a king, and the supreme lord of the universe. He also known as Numian, and it refers to at least one text as the east winds and the north winds. Kings regarded Enlil as the model role and sought to emulate his example. Enlil was said to be supremely just, intolerant towards evil. Ruler from all over Sumer would travel to Enlil's temple in Nepal to be legalized. Understand that this is going to play a part in this history, but not necessarily at this point right here. They would return to their old favor to devouring the lands and precious objects to his temple as offerings. Nepal was the only Sumerian city-state that never built a palace. This was intended to symbolize the city's importance as the center of the cult of Enlil by showing that Enlil himself was the city's king. Even during the Babylonian period, when Murdoch was surpassed suppressed Enlil as a supreme god, Babylonian king still traveled to the holy city of Nepal to seek recognition of their right to rule. First, Enlil rose to prominence during the 24th century BC when the importance of the god on and began to wane. During the time period, Enlil and frequently invoked together, right? Boom, boom. So we go, Queen, King, um, Lil, Mighty, boom, boom, boom. Hold on here. Right, I'm looking. Okay, and Lil was represented by the symbol of the horn cap, which consisted of up to seven um superposed superimposed pairs of ox horns, which crowns were important symbols of divinity. God had been shown wearing them ever since the third millennium BC. The horn caps remained consistent in form and meaning from the earliest days of Sumerian prehistory up until the time of the Persian conquest and beyond. So as we see this nature, the bow of the ground. We will be getting into this as we go. Sumerian had a complex numerology system in which certain numbers, okay, mythology, here we go. The sources of information, prologue to the epic poem Gilgamesh, Enkidu, and the nether world, which briefly described the process of creation. Originally, there was only Namu, the primeval sea. Then Namu gave birth to An, the sky, and Ki, the earth. An and Ki mated with each other, causing Ki to give birth to Enlil. Enlil separated An and Ki and carried off the earth as his domain, and Anu carried off the sky. Enlil married his mother Kai, and from this union, all the plant and animal life on earth were produced. Right, so this is to tell you again. That's why you saw when I first came in, I had up the Epic of Gilgamesh, because when you read these stories, you will begin to understand what was really said. It ain't got nothing to do with aliens and coming from the star, the moon, and all of this nonsense. It's not even saying that, right? It's telling you those stars and what you see plays a major importance, right? First, Lil's mother, right, and instructs Lil to go bathe in the water. Then Lil goes to the river where Enlil seduces her and impregnates her with their son, the moon god Ninan. Because of this, Enlil is banished to Kur in Sumerian underworld. Right, so we'll be getting into all of that, right? So we see again, we see nature, and we see the flood myth. So for a lot of people, right, in the academian version of the flood story recorded in the Epic of Gilgamesh, and Lil actually causes the flood, seeking to inhumanize every living thing on earth, because the humans, who were vastly overpopulated, make too much noise and prevent him from sleeping. Right? So now you just see who the devil was, who created it, and these things. So hold on, let's go to L. Right? Now we're gonna see once again, right, this story unfold. Right? Hold on, let me slide down here some. Right? L. Right? There we go. Word meaning God or deity, or referring as a proper name to any one of multiple major ancient Near East deities, right? A rare form represents the predicted form old Acadian and Amriat. Part if you don't know, like I said, I took a fall, so like my teeth be bouncing off my lip and all of that. So if I be hesitant on saying certain things, it's because I know it's gonna give me a problem. All right, so forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. That's why I keep it up here so you can know. Don't forget, check out my book, Street Skills and Knock 'em Out the Box, as well as don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell so you can be updated whenever new content is being uploaded. Right? So then we go right here, multiple Near East, as a proper name, multiple, academia meaning God, specific deity known as L includes ancient right religions. Boom, boom, boom. This is gonna play a major part, right? Um, linguistics, form, and meanings. Boom, boom, boom. Right, okay. Egyptian, in the Egyptian god Fat is given the title Lord of Gath, Prism Tel, which has on the opposite face of the name, boom, 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 the title where we at, point that is called the Lord, the one of the thing, the identity of El, which that led, where we at? Also, however, is seemingly identified rather than a craftsman god. Boom. Connected. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry. Alright. His crying in and it refers bond. Boom, boom. Right. For the Canaanites, ancient Levant, who was the supreme God and father of mankind, and all created. He is the father of many gods, the most important, Baal, Yam, Mod, each sharing similar attributes. Greco-Roman gods, Zeus and Hades, respectively, according to clay tablets. El is the husband of the goddess. Three from the ground, boom, boom, began four gods according to the cross genetics. El is called, right, boom, creator of creators, boom, boom, Hebrew, El, right, Genesis, right, um, Father of the heavens, Saturn, boom, 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 why? I'm looking for something specifically. I know I have it in here. Um, Hebrew Bible. So, like I said, this is where we're gonna be for the main time. But let me just find some um for the Adam, right? Because we're still dealing with the story of Adam. Let me see. Let's see here. Yeah, let me go out. Let me go into this right here. All right. So there we go. Right? Song of the Hoe. Song of the Hoe was the creation of the pickaxe. It's a Sumerian creation myth written in clay tablets from the last century of the third millennium, right? Seven debate topics are known from the Sumerian literature falling. Boom, boom, boom. Let me find out something here. Debate, boom, boom. Completion. The tablets to the myth. Boom. Two tablets to the myth. Boom, boom, boom. Story. Okay. The poem is composed of a frequent use of the word owl, right, which means whole. The verb meaning of the noun also frequently starts with the constant symbolism owl or r, suggesting that the writer intended for it for humor as a statistical school text or as a tongue twister. The song starts with a certain myth of who? Enlil separated heaven and earth, and Dukakis, the cosmic Nepal, the guarding of the gods, right? So in this, we see that I told you we have Enlil, right? Enlil is Adam, right? We see this story of the hoe, right? This song of the whole is paying homage to this person in Lil who is believed to have created the whole. Not only did the Lord make the world appear in its correct form, the Lord who never changes the destines which he determines in Lil, who will make the human seed of the land come forth from the earth. And not only did he haste to separate heaven and earth, see, told you, and hasten to separate earth from heaven, but ordered to make it possible for humans to grow in where flesh comes forth. The name of the cosmic location. He first raised the axis of the world at Der Anki, you know. The myth continues for with the description of Enlil creating daylight with the whole. He goes on to praise its construction and creation. Enlil mighty whole is said to be made of gold, with the blade made of lapis lazuli and fastened by cords. It is inlaid with lapis, and adorned with silver and gold. And Lil makes civilized man from a brick mold with his hoe. The academician started to praise him. You see, as we see, he laid the foundation, right? And so as we go on and we understand the Bible, right? And not just the Bible, and that's why they tell you the Bible was rewritten every 2,500 years, right? So history is being made, and there are individuals that are doing certain things that allow society to advance. And those people get these titles. So God and all of the things that you are thinking are actually real people, right? And even so, like when we say God, we understand that it's a system. It's not just one individual, it's a system of things that's going on. But in this, Enlil would be the highest because he allowed for man to control their destiny through agriculture, meaning that instead of just letting nature take its course and things climb up, he studied the soil, he studied how to plant, he understood the seeds, he understood these things, so he would be your first genius. Because remember, it's wisdom, it's strength, and it's beauty. So he had the wisdom, he put the toil, the ground, the strength, and the beautiful results, right? So now we have an understanding. We see Enlil, we understand it through, which is Adam. So whenever you think of Adam, all you have to do is look at Enlil. Hold on, let me put this up here, move this over here real quick. Hold on, I'm sorry. All right. Um, Pardon me 1 second. All right. Hold on a minute here. All right. So, okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was streaming. All right. Okay. So, um, so now, like I said, we have Enlil. We have this creator God. We have this creator's mind and high intellect. This intellect that allowed society to be formed. And us as a society, we honor these people, right? Which came out of the first people to do these things, which would be the Egyptians and the Sumerians, or the Sumerians and the Egyptians, whatever way you want to say it, right? And so now we understand their world. So when we look at the ancient world, we understand that people are misusing that information to keep you at bay. So you will be looking at stars and aliens and those type of things without looking at the stars and understanding their relation to nature, because our first system was nature, right? And so when we understand the story of Adam and why he's placed in the first of the book, even though Genesis is not the oldest book. Right, so Genesis and Exodus and Leviticus and what is Genesis, Leviticus, Exodus, Job, and it's another one, right? Well, those original books, right, were the compiled version of these old stories. Right now, you got papyrus papers and all of that. So it went from having to be on these clay tablets, right, to being able to compress your history, your honor, the things. Well, these people compress while going out and removing and killing off other people's honors, family traditions and those type of things, right? So on one side you would say, yeah, that's a good thing, people honoring, they're dead, right? But they're coming in this under this mystical form to take over other people, right? And so this is why, pardon me here, right? This is why I say this is the world of trick knowledge, right? This is the world of trick knowledge because somebody is presenting conflated information, right? So they're taking the information, they're giving it to you, and then they have you running in babble. You're talking about, oh, Adam is this, and you're looking into the story a whole way, and you're not even understanding the concept, and you're not understanding the craftsmanship it took, right, to put these people in that, then go out and present it to the rest of the world in a whole different way. Forgive me here, I'm preparing some weed, right? So this is the understanding. So when you understand the Bible, when you dissect it and you look, all you gotta do is first go to the Epic of Gilgamesh, right? And from that, you will be able to see how they shifted the minds, right? We're gonna go over this again after I finish. You know, I got time today, so we can, really groom this out. But remember, the point of the matter is, Enlil is Adam, right? He is the first, right? He is the one that tilled the land, right? Now we have this garden, right, that was placed there, and we will be exploring all of this, right? Because right here we have the garden of the gods. So all of this stuff will be addressed in a second. Let me just get my bearings right. Let me take this off real quick here. All right. I finally got some motion in my hand, so I'm able to roll a little bit better. I was rolling. I was my fan, but when my hand was first broke, man, I was I was rolling something like I can guarantee you. I probably like if I smoked a whole L, I probably still only got 10%, 10% of what was in there in my lungs. Put that down there real quick. Yeah, so they just gave me the hand brace yesterday. They just took out the stitches. I had like 20 something stitches and shit. All right, so we up here early in the morning. I said, let me give these people the truth, man. Start your day right, understanding this trick knowledge and how this is why, believe it or not, there would be a lot of conflict with Judaism, right? And the fact of you selling people your ancestors and you robbing the people of their own, right? Because they came in and you know they did their gardening, but that don't mean other people in other places wasn't doing their own thing. People were living in Africa and survived without having no interaction, with them. We came out of Africa. So with that being said is right, nature, that's why I say understand the science of nature, right? Understanding the stars, understanding, you know, our place within this solar system, and that can determine how you are able to do things when you plant seeds, when you, right, the weather, right? Us, we have been, as a society, have been stripped from that. Now, if we go to the Great Reset, right, and we have to go through these things, those people who have been watching and still studying, they play the major part. It's like the same way you see with Islam, right? Pardon me. Still a bad role. But nonetheless, hold on, let me put this back around here. Right? Okay. So in this, we could see how much, right, back in the days, they honored their survival, meaning that they understood full and well who were the contributors in their daily life every day. And even when that person passed away, they were taught to honor that, right? So you honor, these people who played major parts in your contribution. Me, I would be, if I was to be honored for something, it's for me to be able to contribute the ultimate contribution to the woke community, explaining to you the art, as you can see with the poem. It's a art. So we got wisdom, right? The knowing. We has the strength, the doing, right? And then we have the art, this skill, this mesmerism, this art of keeping it alive, the beauty of it all, right? So this wisdom, Guma Oz Dubar, this wisdom, strength, and beauty that we will be addressing through these um courses is not to um take away from those people like Enlil and these people. It's not to take away from them, right? But it is to address them taking away from us. If you stole our language, our land, and our identity, then all of these people that played a part that we were paying homage to, you stole, right? You see the art by when it tells you a poem, right? So we see this art, we see the beauty. The poem is composed of frequent used words, al, which means ho. The verb forms a noun or frequently starts with certain the syllabus al or r, suggesting the writer intended it for what? Humor, as a sarcastic sar- saristical school text or a tongue twister, another art. The song starts with a creation myth of Enlil, separates heaven from earth, and Duranki, a cosmic Nepal or garden of the gods. So as you see, just inside of that statement, you see the art of paying homage to life, right? So when you hear the praises you're supposed to praise, these are the songs that they are talking about, right? These are the songs. These are the hymns. And in today's time, since people are so engulfed in themselves and not paying homage to those who paved the way, of course, this right here would, I could see why they would, I mean, nowadays, right, have to make it mystical, right, in order to have you paying homage to, those who paved the way. right? He goes,